everybody. Welcome to Bar Z. My name's Stan, and welcome to another episode of The Grind. This one is number 46. Now, this has been a long time coming, and I've been on the road, and we actually called it the Bar Z North American Tour. So let's power through this. I'm gonna just put up a few photographs, maybe a little bit of video, and we're gonna get through the the Bar Z North American Tour 2017. This is late summer, early fall. Right after the bash, we headed straight to Yuma, Arizona. And this was interesting because we had just a garden variety booth, but it had speed doors on it. So let's go take a look at those speed doors. Okay, so those are pretty cool. They open and close very rapidly. They're like a forklift type door. They're just vinyl, a real heavy vinyl curtain type material, made by Goff's Curtain Walls. They're the same people that I use for my curtains here in the shop, and they make heavy industrial partition curtains and welding curtains and speed doors. Also, we had a chance to go out and go to the range. You know, there's shooting ranges all over Arizona. It's just, you go in any direction, they're just freaking everywhere. So we got a chance to go shooting. So good times. That's what our evenings consisted of. Not much to do in Yuma except that. And in a strange turn of events, I bought some scrap from the old tenant that was moving out of the building. It was a medical company that was moving out. Let's take a look at this barrel of stainless I bought. So yeah, hemostats, we got them. All right, so as soon as we were done with Yuma, and mind you, this is late August. We're in Yuma, Arizona, just melting down. We got a treat and got to come back to SoCal for a little while. Anaheim Convention Center. We had to strip the roof of their solar panels. So let's go take a look at the solars we got off of there. So once again, solar panels, we got them. Photovoltaic. I got enough set aside, bench tested, and checked out. I got enough to go up on the shop and generate almost 9K. So solar panels, we got them. Directly after that, we went straight up to NorCal, Livermore, California. There was a pretty interesting company, Lifting Gear Hire. Not like higher in elevation, but hire like HIRE, like you're going to hire somebody. This is a rental yard, and let's take a look at a few snaps of what they rent. Okay, this is one of my in-house accounts, Lifting Gear Hire. They don't sell anything. They rent rigging, shackles, hoists, slings, chain falls, interpack toe jacks, Hillman rollers. If you've got heavy equipment to move, contact these guys. Say you had a lathe, you need to pick it up and get it on wheels and move it 20 feet. These are the guys to go to. No one wants to go out and buy 4 toe jacks, a pump, and 4 Hillman skates just to move a lathe 10 feet. But with these guys, you can rent it from them. So pretty cool. So that was one of my stops. They were putting in a very small spray booth to paint all their rental equipment. While I was there, truck took some damage. I came out of the building. We were inside of an enclosed building, and I come walking out about 10 o'clock to this. So the gentleman at the trash company was nice enough to roll off a dumpster and drive away with their truck and just let the dumpster roll into my truck. Um, I was pissed at first. Made a few phone calls. The lady over at Livermore Sanitation was very nice. She was very good at calming me down and assured me it was all going to be dealt with, and it has been. You know, they paid for the repairs on my truck, and miraculously, about 3 days later, they came out and took all the wheels off all the dumpsters and put them in a permanent location. So that was their remedy. So that was Livermore, California. From there, we had to haul ass down to San Luis Obispo. I've got a few snaps of San Luis. This is a very nice downdraft with an attached mixing room for automotive painting. I've got some rooftop pictures. I've got some 360 cam too. I'll try to insert them in this video, but I don't know whether the 360 cam will go in. But let's go take a look. So, San Luis Obispo, lovely time of the year, good barbecue, nice place. From there, we had to hightail it up to Petaluma, California. We had a job up at Kayla Instrumental. They make ukuleles. And we went up to Petaluma, and it just wouldn't be a trip to Petaluma if I didn't swing by and say hi to Razor Ray. So I went to see Razor, and we were there during the fires, those big Northern California fires that everyone was hearing about. We were scrambling around. I actually gave up my room at the hotel for all the evacuees from the fires because they were renting rooms left and right. And I already had a reservation, but the American Red Cross asked me if I would give up my room, which I did. And we actually had to commute all the way from Petaluma to San Leandro every day, back and forth to do our job there in Petaluma. And they were doing gas rationing and things like that. So Petaluma was pretty crazy. Ray survived the fire just fine, and Larry did fine too. I was able to visit one of my viewers named Larry. Spent a little time in his shop. So in between the fires and in between work, we got a little bit of time in. Next up, on my way back down, I had some horse trading to do with Tom Lipton. I'm up in the area, so I travel with a trade box. I keep a big cardboard box in my back seat of all my trade stuff, and Tom Lipton had something I really wanted. Take a look at this. Now I know that Ultradex has been shown on his channel, but a little known fact is he didn't just buy one of them; he bought two of them. And believe me when I tell you, he's got a smoking deal on those. So I traded pretty much anything. I was ready to give him the whole box of all my trade goods for that Ultradex, and it's right here. I got it. And I traded away quite a bit of stuff to secure that. And I thank Tom for thinking of me there. So I did swing by Benicia to see Tom Lipton. Next up, I went to Concord, California, which is just across the bridge, just to the south of Benicia there. And I've been, before that I was on and off the phone with the people at California Cold Saw. If you look up CaliforniaColdSaw.com, you get their phone number and stuff and call them. As most of you know, I've got a new cold saw. And, I got about 130 cuts out of that blade. And I was looking to reduce my cost per cut. I know it's a factor with cold saws. So I got on the phone with a gentleman named Doug over at California Cold Saw and talked to him. And the mountain of stuff that I didn't know about cold saws is staggering. This guy is very knowledgeable, got me steered in the right direction, how to cut, how to apply your cut and get it started, how to, actually execute your work techniques. The kind of coolant I was using was wrong. My blade pitch was wrong. My blade tooth spacing was wrong. Wrong. So the mountain of stuff that I was doing wrong, I've almost doubled my cuts. So my cost per cut has been cut in half. If you need anything, get with Doug out there at California Cold Saw. Very smart guy. I was able to swing by, and he let me video just a little bit of his CNC sharpening system.
Just missed the head moving.
Right.
So we're sharpening that one.
Pretty cool.
New blades and blanks like those.
Oh, blanks.
Turn them into. That's what we did with yours. We pulled a blank off the shelf, programmed it, all right data. All of these are going to be different angles, different material.
Nice. So nice machinery he's got in there. Beautiful pieces, and he handles woodworking, cutters and carbide and things like that. So he'll do the big router bits and the different wood manufacturers, cabinet companies and door companies and things like that. But also he does steel cutting for the cold saws, and he also does band saws. He'll make custom bandsaw blades for you, and he teaches saw sharpening. Interesting guy. So go check out California Cold Saw. No affiliation, just a satisfied customer. All right. From there, we had to hightail it back down to Santa Ana, California, to a plating company doing a big clean room for a plating company. Let's go take a look at the drawing. Okay, some assembly may be required. That's a pretty complex unit. Let's take a look at a little bit of vid of us hoisting the first bit of it up, which is the roof. We built it on the floor and just hoisted it up. Okay, and then the days progressed. I didn't really get any video, I just got some photos. The days progressed, we got more of the walls up, we got the air handler unit on top, the humidifier, all the temperature control and everything goes on top. We got an oven that's stacked onto it, as seen here. And then we had the final panel wiring and stuff. So that job's pretty much at a close. Let's take a look at a final. Okay, so that concludes the Bar Z North American Tour 2017. Man, we've been on the road forever. But it's good to be back here in the shop. And, I got my Black Friday stuff up already. You guys have already seen that. Let's take a look at some other stuff. I've got a problem with a pair of calipers, pair of dial calipers, and I'm around here. But I got a problem with a pair of dial calipers. And I shot a little video and sent it to Mark Ratowski. Hey Mark, is there any way to stop this from happening? I'm kind of afraid to run them across the DMAG. I could, but I don't want to screw up the scale or whatever. I think they're magnetic scales in here. But these things get magnetized pretty quick, and I've never been able to demagnetize them, and I never thought to ask. But is it okay to demag these things? Am I going to hurt anything? Let me know. Okay, and Mark replied back to me that I could, in fact, demagnetize them. So let's go and demag those things and see what the result is, and see if we mess up the reed head on those calipers. Okay, well, we've got our dial calipers here that are highly magnetic. And according to Mark over at MR Tool, the actual beam on here, this beam has got a laminated copper strip in here. There's no magnetics or anything you can mess up inside the beam. So we're going to turn on our demagnetizer, and with the reed head all the way out, we're going to come in here, and we're going to demagnetize that beam. We're not going to hurt a thing there. And then we're going to flip it over and do the other side. And then we're going to very carefully do just this jaw right here. We're going to stay away from this right here. And we're going to stay away from the electronics here. But we're just going to come up on the side, just get in there with this and get that other jaw done. We're going to flip. And take care of that. Other jaw. And then we're going to, just for the heck of it, we'll do the rod hanging out the back. All right. Well, let's turn it on and see if we've killed this thing. Nope, back to 0. So we're still working good. And let's go see if it's magnetic now. Let's go to our pile of chips and see how we do. Okay, well, we're back at our pile of chips, and let's see if we can pick up some shavings. Nothing. Nothing. So nothing like we had before. That's pretty awesome. So great tip, and you can demagnetize your calipers without damaging them if you're careful. You don't use a super strong magnet, but I don't know about you, but everything in my shop gets magnetic sooner or later. So I sure thank Mark over at MR Tool for the advice, and I was just afraid to do it. I didn't want to kill my calipers. All right. Okay, well, that worked out good. The calipers work perfect. They're not magnetic anymore. They're not picking up every little bit of scrap in the shop. It was driving me crazy. You're always having to wipe down your jaws to make sure there's not a little piece of shaving or something on there to make sure you're getting good readings. But it was driving me nuts. I have a set of 8-inch that have carbide jaws, and those will give me any problems because carbide can't be magnetic. So those work perfectly, but those other ones, man, they get magnetic. There's enough magnets around this place. Stuff gets magically magnetic by itself. All right, but I thank Mark Rotowski. In fact, I'm going to put his email address down in the description. If you've got tools, dial indicators, dial calipers, height gauges, whatever need to be repaired, this is your go-to guy. Go check him out, shoot him a line, and he'll get you hooked up with the address and everything you need to mail your stuff into. Reasonable prices, fast turnaround. All right, and I thank Mark for his advice. Next up, let's go, as long as we got their calipers out, let's go take a look at measuring a bolt hole circle with just plain old dial calipers, and how this might be considered a hack, but you're using your dial calipers as a calculator and doing a deduction and putting a bias into your display. Let's go check this out. Okay, we've got our newly demagnetized calipers here. I was going to show you a trick, and this is to measure a bolt hole circle. You may already know this, but what I want you to do is come in on a bolt, and I already know these are number 10, so they should measure 1875, 188. I'll buy that. Go ahead and zero out on that. And then you've nulled out 1 diameter, which is the same as 2 radius. So you thread your bolts in here, and you can get a false reading. So you get a little wiggle on these bolts. If you don't screw them in securely, there's a little wiggle on each one of those. Let's take a look at what our bolt hole circle says here with a loose bolt and see what we get. I'm getting a reading of 2495, but I know that's 2.5 bolt hole circle. Let's put them in solid, screw them all the way in so they catch all the threads, and it takes a lot of the wiggle out. And then we're going to try it again. On our highest point, there it is, 24995. That's 2.5 inch in my book, half a thou off, not splitting hairs like that. But there's a good trick to nullify 1 diameter, same as 2 radius. That's going to give you your center to center distance on a bolt hole circle if you need to measure it. Thought I would share that with you in case you didn't already know it. All right, thanks for watching. Okay, quick and easy. I use my calipers in all kinds of creative ways. And, if you might have seen it before, I first learned that one from old Colin Chippett up at Comp Edge X. He showed me that, and a little light bulb came on for me. I go, what a genius this guy is. So Colin showed it first. I'm just passing it along to you. All right, I can't take any credit. All right, guys, hope you enjoyed this episode of The Grind, number 46. Have a good Christmas and a good New Year, and we'll catch you on the next one.